Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. The story I'm going to tell is about Kyocera, and it's called Connecting the Dots with Process Automation. You will know why and how we are connecting the dots in a while, but let me start introducing myself and my company. Kyocera, we are Kyocera. I'm Kyocera. Just to give you a quick introduction or explanation for the people who doesn't know Kyocera, Kyocera is a global company providing the products, office products, printing products all over the globe. We are Kyocera Document Solutions Europe, or the regional headquarters for the EMEA region. So we have around 20 group companies. We call them sales companies. They are our subsidiaries. They do the sales and support in the local regions within EMEA. And we are the regional headquarters, and I am from the IT department of this regional headquarters. A fun fact is we just completed 50 years yesterday. I just missed the cake because I was traveling. But we are proud of it. Kyocera Document Solutions Europe was started 50 years back with one of our partner initially, and then we took over the partner, obviously, and then became Kyocera Document Solutions Europe. We have sales, as I mentioned, across the EMEA region. We are specialized in the manufacturing of printing products like the MFPs, the inkjet printers, and the office printers, and also the personal printers. Kyocera is the patent and path-breaking innovator in terms of this office supplies. Document solutions, as such, we are also into the ICT business, the ECM business nowadays. That's pretty much about Kyocera. Now about me. Myself, I'm Jagadeesh Kadiyala. You can call me as Jax. That's the name one of my colleagues gave 15 years back, and so I'm still living with it because it's easy to get to. I am the COE lead, the Center of Expertise or the Excellence, however you call it, of the IT Solutions Center in Kyocera Document Solutions. Me, along with few people, it's not a huge team, it's half of a cricket team, but still I'm managing it. It's a team of 6 people with 3 developers and 3 business analysts. We ensure the end-to-end delivery of the applications that I'm going to show next. This is our family. This is our tools. We call, as per the Kyocera philosophy, we call the extended family principle. So I would like to introduce, or I would like to have a representation of my team here, who makes me proud. I'm the lead. I have 3 BS on the left-hand side. Beautiful ladies. They help us with interfacing of the customer, trying to get the problems on the table, trying to discuss the solutions, and trying to support them after we roll out the solutions. We have developers on the right. They are the ones who build the system, who also support during the go-lives. We have these solutions that we have right now been involved with. Bizagi is obviously the focus of today, which I will get into more detail. But we have board. It's a planning and forecasting product that we use for our planning purposes within the company. ClickSense is as you know, ClickSense is a reporting and dashboarding tool that we use for dashboards and, most importantly, self-PI. We don't want our users to come to us just to import an Excel and generate a dashboard that they can do themselves. And then the Microsoft Azure SQL Data Warehouse, it's a new addition to our family, just 1 year old. But we are still able to pick it up within the same small team of 6 members. We are ensuring that the applications and the raw data that Kyocera Document Solutions Europe has are safely stored in this data warehouse, and we manage the data warehouse as well. Now, zooming into the Bizagi itself, our Bizagi journey has started around 8 years back when I was not with the Kyocera still. We started in 2016. Just like any other customers, like Stephen, we reached out to the market. We were looking at multiple products who can help us with automating our manual processes. And we found Bizagi to be a nice candidate for us. And then we started with a pilot of one of the applications, which is called as SPA, the Special Pricing Approval, which I'm going into the details in the next slides. But that's what we started. And as you can see, in each year, we have able to extend the footprint of Bizagi in Kyocera Document Solutions Europe by implementing at least a process, a new process, adding to the stack of applications that we have. Sometimes we were able to also do more than one in 2019. I'm proud of that because that's when I joined Kyocera. And we also have a constant improvements to the existing processes and the previous processes that we already have. One thing I would like to emphasize here is progress is constant. We are trying to make those baby steps towards improving the processes, introducing new processes, and trying to extend our user base of Bizagi processes. The latest one that we have achieved is the move to cloud. We were successfully able to move to Bizagi PaaS platform, which is one of the stories that I would like to share in a few minutes. But as you can see, the ongoing goals that still continue today, and that was 5 years back, was increasing the business-wide process digitization. And when I come to SPA, I will give you a funny story about it, but still that's the reason why we are doing. And we are trying to connect the dots. As you mentioned, that is the theme, because as any other organization, the processes are discrete, very spread across different divisions. Nobody knows how we can talk to each other using this IT landscape. Now, I will try to go into some stories of some applications, not all of them, don't worry. Some of them I will pick up and I will try to explain what we try to achieve by implementing Bizagi processes. The one which I'm going to talk about, the first is the SPA, which is Special Pricing Approval. As the name suggests, it is the special price. The special price, as I mentioned, we are a sales company. We are going to sell our products, and users, obviously the customers, expect lower prices than the list prices. So this is the process that enables our group companies to place a request in our system so that the regional headquarters can agree on a special price. Now, as you can see, what is before Bizagi? Again, just to reinforce the fact that this is a process for the group companies to initiate a process of a special price for a given tender or a bid with a lot of products in it. And the regional headquarters has to approve it because they are getting a discounted price, not the list price. We used to have a very, very old-fashioned manual process 8 years back. The sales operations team used to go up and down the floors and trying to get the signatures from the president, vice president, general managers. And if the president doesn't agree, they need to print another paper. Of course, they print on a Kyocera printers, which is nice, but they print again, which is not nice. And they used to get these signatures manually. And that's the time when we realized that this is a very important process in our organization and needs to be digitized. And we have, due to this going up and down the floors, we have very less chances of coming back to the customers or the sales companies that we have, and less chances thereby to win the bid. Because if we are late by 1 day, then we are late by a lifetime. And then the important point here is also not the visibility of what this tender is going to give to the headquarters, to the regional sales companies by approving this special price. You cannot calculate that on a paper and show it to your president to approve it. So what we try to achieve by implementing this in Bizagi is we have now a central process in place. All our group companies put their request in Bizagi for this special price. The special price is integrated with SAP. So because SAP is our ERP system, the orders and invoices has to go through in SAP. So it is integrated with SAP. We have an actionable insights by generating metrics and KPIs, which means you can give an indication to the approver that if you approve this standard within 5 years, you are going to make your loss covered. That's a very, very important metrics that we were able to generate through KPI, through Bizagi. We have reduced the process by 85%, which means the requests are being now approved quite quickly, and even the revisions are getting very quickly done. We have also reduced the employee time very subsequently, and then also the 20 minutes per approval means it's a very quick turnaround time for our sales companies. Going further, the next application that we have automated is credit claim. Again, when you have a special price request, you will obviously have to compensate the difference of the list price with the special price. So the claims will flow through from the group companies, and you need to ensure that you pay it back to them so that they don't make a loss. So a claim process has been implemented. Again, this was a very manual process. People were not able to approve the claims in time, and this claims needs to be again uploaded into SAP and then generate the invoice, release the claims. It's a very complex process, and it is a very time-consuming process. So we automated it in Bizagi. It becomes 1.5 times faster because all the claims are simply shown on the screen. Multiple department communication has become very simple because you can see everybody has a role to play in the system, and they can see their tasks to approve. It is again integrated with SAP, so the clients don't need to go through any of the manual processing of SAP and then approvals within SAP. Everything is automated through Bizagi. And the reviews are also faster by linking the previous process to this, because as I mentioned, most of the claims come through the special price process that we have. So we link at the process. That's the point of connecting the dots. So we have achieved our second successful application in Bizagi. Now, the other one that I'm going to show about is price registration process. This is the registration of a normal price. As I mentioned, Kyocera has products, and the products are, we get it from our headquarters in Japan, and the products have a list price. The list price also needs to be implemented in SAP, and the process was very again, manual, Excel-based, going around the office and trying to get signatures on paper. So we try to automate that. This is a quick win because it's a very simple process with 3 personas in the process, not really complex approvals. But still, we have reduced the time taken to get an approval. The next one is the last one I was trying to explain is the channel partner program. This is one of the applications where we were able to extend Bizagi from within Kyocera boundaries to our external users. As Gustavo mentioned, we were able to extend our process users to our external customers. Now, they are not our employees. They don't have our logins. They are not really know our process. But by enabling them using the Bizagi process, we were able to make a lot of improvement in the manual Excel-based email process. Unstructured process, the people were not able to follow one process because each of our partner sends an email with a different format. All that has been eliminated. We have our partners onboarded with Bizagi. We have a central process to process the marketing claims from the partners, and we have integrated that with SAP. So there is no more manual process in place. Everything is in Bizagi. With this, the end-to-end time that is required to process a marketing claim has been reduced very significantly. Then going to what we are able to achieve by using Bizagi in Kyocera, we have reduced our operational work, especially in sales division. As you could see, the number of applications that we have right now live are mostly in the sales division. We improved or increased the accuracy and availability of the data. The data is centrally available in Bizagi. Most of the data is in Bizagi. That's the source of truth. Everybody looks at Bizagi for their facts. And we also used Bizagi to enhance existing processes while digitizing them. That's the key point here is the channel partner program was a manual process, very unstructured process. And when we tried to implement this in Bizagi, we were able to change the business process. We were able to convince our business, our partners, that the manual process that you have is not the way to do, and this is the way to do by using an IT system. And we were able to make changes to our business processes rather than just digitizing our business processes. And that's where we see the power of Bizagi, because you could show Bizagi modeler to your end users or your business partners, trying to explain what it looks now, what it looks like in future, and trying to also show them in action. And we moved to Bizagi PaaS Cloud with zero info footprint. I think that's a nice feeling because we don't have any more servers. We don't need to install any patches. It's all taken care by Gustav's team. So if we look at the timeline, right now, we just completed the last milestone of moving to cloud. And the journey of moving to cloud was quite exciting. We initially had a lot of thoughts. We wanted to also go to private cloud. Obviously, Bizagi support is out of time. And then we looked at the options of moving to cloud. One of the key things that we liked about moving to cloud was, apart from zero footprint of infrastructure, we were able to use the native features of PaaS. That's the key thing. Yeah, of course, change is always difficult, not only for us, not only for the business, but it was really worth it. One of the key things that we were able to achieve is we merged all our standalone on-prem projects into one project on cloud, which means instead of having 5 databases, I have now only one database where the data is shared across applications, and I can smartly run the processes, share the data, thereby going back to my team of connecting to dots. And then as I mentioned, we achieved the zero footprint, and that's a byproduct of moving to cloud. And this is how we look now. Most of this picture is accurate. Right now, we have almost everything related to Bizagi and Bizagi PaaS Cloud. We have our development environment. We call that SCS Studio Collaboration Services. We have the test. We have our production. We have a VPN gateway established to safely communicate to KDE resources, like the resources that we have on our custom services, custom databases, which are consumed within the Bizagi process. We have traffic going around for the Azure AD integration, for the emails, for the other services that we need to connect to run our process. What is our key learnings and takeaways? If I put them into very simple terms, design light UI. No matter whether you have a complex process or a simple process, having a complex UI, the users are lost in it. They cannot navigate through it. They will ask questions. Unfortunately, we don't have ADA now. So they will ask a lot of questions. Where should I click? What is the data is about? So making light UI with a very simple explanations of what they can do is the key thing to make the process run easier, and you can sell your ideas also well. Make peer reviews and peer deployments a way of life. This is a learning for us because we are a stock listed company. We have to follow IT compliance controls. So all the Bizagi processes that we have are audited once, twice in a year. They need to be 100% accurate with respect to the IT general compliance and controls. So we have made peer deployments, peer reviews as part of a way of working for us. So every code change that any of our developers does, it will be reviewed by another peer, and all the deployments are always done by a peer. So this makes it easier for the developers to depend on each other. At the same time, you will also achieve the compliance because we always have 4 eyes principle. And then follow one project, multiple apps principle on cloud. Again, this was our learning. The learning that I liked about moving to cloud is if you have multiple applications, put them under one umbrella, then you can talk between the applications, between the processes, share the data, and make the right improvements in future. Then design around Excel, and that's because Excel is not going away. Most of the requirements that we get in our applications by majority of our users is, can I import an Excel and you show me the data in Bizagi? Can I download the Excel from the grid in Bizagi? This is the constant request. No matter how complex UI I can make, which is deviating from my first point of making light UI, they're not happy. They want to have the Excel, then they put the data in one tab, put their pivot in the other tab, because they want to see the data in their own way. So creating your design around Excel, making sure that you think about downloading an Excel file out of Bizagi data and uploading an Excel file and showing it in Bizagi forms is a key things that we learned the hard way. You should always consider, because it's not going away. Excel is not going away. It is becoming much more stronger nowadays. So it's needed. And that's one of the things that we learned during this journey. So looking back, onboarding to Bizagi was smooth, was easy, because nobody knew about Bizagi. When they saw a digital form appearing on the screen, instead of going to the third floor or fourth floor to get a signature, they were very happy. They took it up very, very happily. They started to use it. And the user base was also very small. We have only 20-30 users active at that time. But then that gave high expectations with an initial success. And we, as I mentioned, we rolled this process out to all our group companies. So it became easily 70, 80 users. Then they started asking, starting from, can I upload an Excel? Yeah, that's the point where our applications became more and more complex. Then we also have learned how to implement more and more features into it. But that was exciting. We learned a lot. We implemented a lot of processes. As you can see in the timeline, we have achieved a lot of improvements. We also found the BPU-based licensing as very, very promising, because when we started, we used a perpetual license, which means, as I mentioned, when we went from 20 to 60 licenses, that's a big number change. But when we have BPU licenses, and primarily when we have gone live with the channel partner program process, giving the access to our partners, we don't have to worry, because I have as many licenses as I want. Very important thing to distinguishing thing for Kyocera is our processes are very important but not heavy. In the sense, there are not millions of transactions every day, but each transaction carries millions of euros behind it. So our processes are not heavy in the terms of transactions. So our BPU licensing model has given us the opportunity to extend our processes to our user base without any extra cost on the licensing. And we then also try to make our developers happy by upgrading it to latest versions, so that we have latest versions on the studio, latest versions on the portal. That's a nice feeling. Then finally migrating to cloud was a relief, as well as it's like it's a good thing to do, because you have a less of an infrastructure footprint and you have more benefits. So that's one of the recent achievements that I would say. Then we have merged all our projects, as I mentioned during the cloud migration, into one project, which is now allowing us to think further in our maturity level of Bizagi implementation of connecting the dots. The connecting the dots comes from the thought of merging the projects, as well as having these many applications across different business units within Kyocera. They don't know that they can talk to each other. And we are now trying to fill the gaps by trying to connect the dots and trying to make a process that covers the whole spectrum of applications. And looking to the future, we want to implement small automations, as well as, of course, connecting the dots. Maybe the small automations or small improvements will connect the dots. But we don't want to target only big processes like the first one, the special price approval, because that's a complex one. It takes time to implement. It takes time for the business to approve. So we were trying to implement small automations, small wins, so that it's easy to extend the usage. And that's my next one is we want to expand within Kyocera, use Bizagi across multiple divisions, not only primarily into one of the divisions, but also multiple divisions. And we wanted to extend our usage of Bizagi platform to more and more subsidiaries, more and more external partners, so that the usage of Bizagi is increased, as well as the business processes becomes more linear. They don't be discrete. The discrete processes are difficult to automate. Linear processes are easy to automate. And then thereby we are trying to, in the back of our mind, we are always trying to connect the dots, because the more the people use Bizagi, the more we can connect the dots with this single application. And then what we are looking forward is, we are really looking forward for the apps, because this is one of the constantly asked feature or facility, I would say, by our users. I want one dashboard across multiple applications where I can see my pending items to approve, where I want to see how many I approved last week. We are not able to provide that as of today, because we have only one inbox and you need to navigate between the inboxes of Bizagi. But with this apps version, I think we would be able to provide that facility for our approvers, so that they can have one single place to see all the information that they are looking for. Maybe, making it more beneficial by adding some reporting on top of it. But that is something which we are trying to look in the near future. So that's pretty much the story of Bizagi in Kyocera, and how we leveraged Bizagi in the past 8 years. And that's pretty much from my side, Yogan. Thank you for your time.
Many questions.
I have a natural question.
Yeah.
I'm a commercial guy, because it was music to my ears. See, you want to expand the usage of Bizagi, but how do you create the demand in your organization?
There is a demand already. We have a long backlog. We have a lot of requests. As I mentioned, we are a sales company. We have ever-changing sales, and we have ever-changing business requirements. One of them, for example, in the last 2 years, Kyocera is very much focused on production printing. Production printing is like printing these banners and printing on the clothes, and they have a different business strategy. And the current process that we have in all of this process doesn't fit to these business needs. So we have already a pipeline of a lot of requirements to adopt in the process. So we already have that. But at the same time, as I mentioned, we have the view of missing puzzle pieces around all the processes that we have implemented. Like the normal price registration of the price registration process feeds data into the special approval process, which feeds data into the credit claim process. So these are the things that we know, and we are trying to make the stories out of it, trying to make a business case out of it, and trying to make a new implementation out of it. So we're working on it, and we are trying to sell those ideas so that we can improve the usage of Bizagi.
Cool. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Sorry, my question is regarding your expansion to your partners. Not only you have your
But
expanding to other partners. If I'm a partner, If I'm a partner, how do I interact with your system? And you mentioned as well that by sending emails can trigger create processes. Do I have a user interface, or do I send an email and we use a feature from Bizagi, a version that creates a case automatically?
No, we basically onboarded the partners directly onto the Bizagi platform. So they have a user profile, they have a license, they can log in, and they can work on their tasks. The process earlier to what we have in Bizagi was manual. They used to send emails with Excel attachments, even video files of their marketing strategies to one of our colleagues, and they used to review all the Excel files, used to make multiple levels of approvals until it finally becomes a claim in SAP. We simply onboarded them. We simply onboarded them with a task in the process, where they can log into Bizagi, they can directly work on Bizagi screens, and then they'll part of the process. So, and that's what we would like to do there. We do not want to have interfaces or integrations and keep Bizagi within only the four walls of Kyocera. We would like to also have the other users use it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
So, you talked a lot about the interactions with SAP, right? So one of my questions was that, are you also trying to design around SAP in terms of flexibility that you have with Bizagi, that you don't have in SAP? So what are some of the use cases you're doing in Bizagi? And then I guess you're updating the system of record periodically, right?
Yeah.
So give us an idea about that. And the other part too was, is it R3 that you're integrating with, and is there pressure to move to HANA? And what version of SAP are you using?
Yeah. So
No, just to extend the question related to that, we're seeing several large customers of us migrating from R3 to HANA, and what they're doing is putting the process layer on Bizagi and keeping SAP more as a system of records so that they keep a single, not modified version of SAP, because the consequences of that are big, and provide the agility layer on Bizagi.
Yeah. So first, to answer Samir's question, yes and no. We are working around SAP because as of now, the type of requests that we have in our business demands we have, not all of them can be customized in SAP. And that's the place where we are pitching in. We are saying, okay, you cannot change a claim process in SAP, so let's take care in Bizagi. One of the examples is the credit claim process, where the claims are created from Bizagi directly into SAP, and SAP just releases an invoice to an approved claim. So that's why we are trying to improve further. We are now talking actively about a provision. Provision is a process in SAP where you reserve the funds for the next quarter, so that your P&L is healthy. Yeah, it is not right now in Bizagi, not right now in SAP. The business is still working on Excel, so we are trying to pitch in with the provision. So we are working around SAP to improve the missing things. Again, connecting the dots. We are on R3 right now, so we are not on HANA yet. We are actively, our other COEs in Kyocera are working on moving SAP to HANA, R4. So I don't know how it looks once we move, because it is targeted to be the mid of 2025. But at that point in time, I would think there would definitely be a good opportunity for us to use Bizagi as a kind of a headless BPM, where we would like to try to use the process orchestration layer. I'm sure it will be a difficult one to sell it in our IT department, but I think that's where it is going to be. Yeah.
Thank you very much.